Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar, open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a few sprinkles possible, otherwise partly sunny with a light breeze and a high around 70. Tonight, a chance of showers late, otherwise partly cloudy with a low near 48. And tomorrow, we'll see a chance of showers and storms, otherwise partly sunny and warm with a high near 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer.
Blitz is on. Taylor picks it up. Fires. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Canadian Football League Grey Cup champion.
Taylor again, wide open.
And first-team All-American quarterback Steve Taylor.
5 for Steve Taylor. That is a new Nebraska record.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, former All-American quarterback Steve Taylor.
We are back here with former All-American quarterback Steve Taylor. It's weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor. I am Jake Bakovin in studio alongside one of the best to ever suited up for the Scarlet and Cream and take snaps back there at quarterback. Steve, how's it going this week? We know we missed a little bit from you last week. I guess there was a blizzard or something.
Yeah.
Might have messed up your travel plans a little bit, but we're back. We're ready to roll today.
Yeah, I'm back in the seat, and this is the first day of my new regime or my new routine.
Routine.
Yeah. I must have too much food out there. No, man. So I was heading out to Arizona for a golf tournament. Remember guest, Stone Canyon, good friend of mine, Husker Booster, and just a great guy. So anyway, I was supposed to go out after our show on Wednesday. I was gonna do half the show, then catch a plane and get out and play the practice round. But obviously there was a storm coming in that night. And so I switched my plans. So flew out that day, flew out Tuesday after a round of golf. And man, you guys had quite the storm here.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I mean, God, I got back and it was all kind of red clay and dirt on my windows. And I guess it was the dust that mixed in with the snow and everything. So no, it's pretty crazy, but glad to be back, man. Glad to be back.
Yeah, I'm still kind of waiting for it to rain. I think, and get a lot of that red dirt, like you said, just kind of hanging around everywhere.
No, I can't. It's amazing how fast things start to green up though on Lincoln.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I played yesterday, and now the fairways are green. The trees have some buds on them and stuff. So we're close. And I walked. And I took. Man, my life is just crazy right now. So I'm watching these two dogs, right? So it's my responsibility. So I'm out there letting them do their deed, and I'm looking at my yard, and I'm like, oh man, I got to go prep my yard. Now there's grass, there's weeds in the rock beds and stuff. So I got to get rid of it. So yeah, the moisture's there, and it's amazing how things start to grow.
It is amazing. I've noticed that too. It's like you just kind of turn over the leaf from winter into spring, and here we are. It's already starting to.
I'm hoping we have a spring. I'm hoping we have a spring, and so far it feels as if we're going to ease into it with the 60s and the 70s, and have a month of spring.
Yeah,
not jump into the 90s.
We don't want to go through our extremes, though. We can't. I can't. I mean, there was a couple storms here this winter that were pretty bad, but it was that's basically all the snow we got.
I've forgotten all about those storms now.
Yeah,
it's amazing how quickly I forget about winter.
Well, good for you, because winter can not be fun at all.
So how did my boy T Farr do on my show? Did he
did very well?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
because he's been busy moving and stuff, so he's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah. I noticed that because he comes in and talking about kind of worn out at times, moving around so much.
He's like a one-man show. I'm like, dude, I'll get you some help, man.
Yeah,
I'll get you some help.
So was your trip for business or pleasure?
Pleasure, but I always work in a little business to write some stuff off. I looked at a few townhouses and some condos on property. Kind of did that little thing. Yeah. All pleasure, man. No, it's pleasure. Yeah. And this is really the first event that I played competitively, since I've hurt my elbow.
Oh, okay.
And so I took a year off, and last year I kind of eased back into it, but I actually performed pretty good. I played well, played well. I was consistent. So now I'm back in that competitive tournament mode, and I can handle the nerves and handle the pressure.
Yeah.
Because when I was out for a while, it was different coming back, man. But no, I had a great time. I played pretty good.
Was it among your favorite courses? Would you say it was a good course?
No, I think Stone Canyon is one of my favorite courses now. It's the Arizona course, but there's not a lot of not a lot of desert.
Okay.
Right? The fairways are generous, and then you have the cart path, and then you have a little bit of desert. So you have to really spread and hit it right to get in the desert. So you don't feel like you're playing desert golf. It's just a nice, challenging course. There's no gimmicky holes, nothing like that. Challenging holes, but it's fair. They got this one par 3, man, which is a waterfall, which is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It's just as nice as any par 3 I've ever played. Great people. Man, a lot of Nebraskans out there.
Yeah.
A lot of people from Omaha and Bellevue area were members out there, and they were playing and everything. So
he said there were some Husker conversations.
Oh, yeah, that was the topic. That was the big topic at we're outside on the deck, and after a round of golf, there, guys are asking my opinion, what's the status of Husker football, what you think, blah, blah, blah. And the consensus was, is Coach Rule the guy? Is he the guy? And it was probably about 50-50.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised with that. But a few people didn't think that he's going to be the guy to get us over the hump, which is interesting. But the other 50% thought that he has a really good chance. So, but that was a major topic. And is Nebraska ever going to get back to, being competitive on a national national scale? So interesting.
Yeah.
And then of course, always the NIL.
Yeah, that's
always
the
NIL,
up,
how that's playing a role and how Nebraska is being impacted by that. So those are really the topics of conversation. Besides our slices and our fades and our missed putts and that kind of stuff. But a great time.
Well, which side were you arguing on behalf? That Matt Rule was the guy, or that you had some reservations?
I held tight. I was impartial. There are enough signs there to think that yes. And I would say primarily the things what I would say is holding me back to be all in. And it's really not a reflection of Coach Rule. It's just really the state of Nebraska, where Nebraska football is, and how difficult I think it is, and how much of a challenge I think it is to really compete. I think I have a better understanding or feel more confident once we get into the revenue sharing. Then I think that will give Nebraska a pool of funds and monies that they can really go out and invest in some high quality players. So we're going to see what happens with that. Otherwise, the way we're going now, I don't think we're really competing as far as player by player in regards to being able to sign players and with the whole NIL package.
Yeah.
I think we're not doing as well as I would hope, what I would like for us to do from what I've seen on a national scale. And I'm talking all sports, man. When I watched when I was watching the NC2As, the March Madness, and the quality of their players and the depth that they have, and where those programs are, and then where Nebraska is as far as our basketball program, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of players out there.
Yeah.
A lot of players.
Yeah.
And it seems like, why are we not, why don't we have one, we have maybe one, maybe two. I'm talking basketball right now.
Yeah.
One, maybe two, but the overall team talent, everything is drastically lower than other teams, especially Power 5 schools. So that's interesting. That's always been a struggle, with basketball. But then with football, I'm seeing that as well. We have Dylan, which is the one, but besides that, and help me out here, I mean, you don't really hear too much about other players and their NIL packages and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to see, what happens there. So I guess what I'm saying is that, I don't know if Rule's the guy, and it's not necessarily is he capable. Is Nebraska the state? Are we going to be able to adapt and do what we need to do to be competitive on a national scale compared to, the Michigans and Ohio States and the Penn States, all these other schools that seem to be doing okay.
Yeah.
Or better than okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to take, and it's a lot of, there's, I always kind of think when the fall off started to happen, right? Kind of the early 2000s transitioning to, pretty much post Frank. Frank did have his 7-7 season or whatever. So maybe
that's always a topic of discussion when I go to these events and you meet a lot of Nebraska fans. When did the decline start?
Yeah.
And I've been here in the state since then, right? Since I retired from 1997. So I've seen it hands-on, and I've had my opinions about things. And it's just been a combination of a lot of things and some little things that really go unnoticed, that I think we slipped and did not have the opportunity to really push our program forward.
Yeah.
It was done in a way that, it just didn't make any sense. And I still wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go way back then with the Turner Gills and all that kind of stuff and the missed opportunities and, and the firings and everything. But when you really think about it, man, it's a sad thing. It's a sad conversation. It's a very sad, but real, real, so, so time will tell. I really hope Nebraska can get out of this black hole that we're in. And we're going to see if the state can pull through and do it.
Well, and it's interesting too, because, when you bring up basketball and football, I get what you're saying too. I mean, the expectations obviously are there a little bit more for football still, but the programs are kind of in similar situations as far as like an actual on the court or on the field, which is, just not right. Give both teams credit, right? You went to a 7-6, you went to a bowl game. You're going to be playing in basketball. You're going to be playing in the, the equivalent of the NIT, but, better this year in the Crown. That's not the goal, but it's, so you're just kind of where you are. But it does, it feels, and to my point, what I was kind of bringing back earlier, is it's just, especially for football, basketball is kind of on their own trajectory, but for football, when you made the misstep with Callahan, it was kind of like, okay. And then they got back to Bo, but it was like, it wasn't that far off, right? Like you weren't that far removed from the glory years.
Yeah.
And the further and further you get away and the more wrong coaching hires or, coaching decisions that didn't work out, the further you get away from being the glory years type of program. So now to what you're saying it's not just Matt Rule. It's like it's hard to imagine or envision Nebraska, the program that they've been, and what it will take to get them back there is a big job. It's a big ask. So it's not just like, okay, well, this coach is pretty good, he should be able to do it. You've got to have a lot of things kind of line right for Nebraska.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because I guess to look at another institution that sort of went through what Nebraska has gone through, but has recovered. Really, look at Oklahoma. I remember when I was up in Canada, and Oklahoma it was like 10 years. They were not there, right? And then they hired Stoops, and they did what they did. So their drought was about 10 years. Ours has been twice that, right? We've had far more coaches than they've had, and athletic directors, but they're in a different pool to be able to recruit. Norman is not a great city. Not a great city.
Yeah, not a destination.
Yeah, exactly. But they seem to attract players from Texas, Alabama, and Louisiana, all those places. What have they done that we have not been able, where we can't recruit and get those type of players? I'm not being overly critical. It's just a fact. Their overall roster has way more talent than what we've had here. So why is Nebraska so different? And I tell people it's a different state. And I hope we can overcome that.
Yeah.
I really do. Because it wasn't pleasant, man. I mean, besides the golf and the weather, talking about Husker football, it really wasn't a pleasant conversation.
No.
And you can't fake it. I'm not going to fake it. So it's something I thought about on the plane coming back. And I love Nebraska. That's what's weird. Like, well, you stay and live in Nebraska. I'm like, yeah, I love Nebraska. Nebraska's been good for me. I've been good for Nebraska. But it was a different time and different age. Would Nebraska be good for me now if I was coming out of high school? With so many other options? Don't know. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the challenge.
Well, I think that's, to the point of kind of recruiting and bringing those people in, is that Jarrell Farley would say the same thing after Ralph Brown years ago. Like Nebraska, they didn't commit because they wanted to go to Lincoln and the beautiful scenery. I know you're kind of the same way. They committed because the Nebraska football program was a top 5 program, and that was what it was. It was churning out NFL talent, and it was winning national championships, and it was competing. And so, to kind of that's what I think Nebraska can recruit like that, but they got to be a top 5 program. How do you get? You have to do that first.
A great example is Nebraska volleyball.
Yeah,
it's a great example how Cook has run that organization in the past, and then how he has handed the baton off to a very, very capable, proven talent, right? And he's continued to recruit, and I think he's had the ability to do that because they were so successful on the court. And people want to go, they will come and pay. They will come and play for Nebraska. And they they have some pretty good NIL packages for their volleyball players that were, I think, competitive on a national scale. They were right there, from what I understand and from what I've seen, right? So that's what we have not done with football.
Yeah.
And Nebraska is a very unique place in that regard. We must win here, I think, or they're going to have to pay some players a fair amount of cash to get those high quality players to come here and play. And that's why I think once the revenue sharing hopefully comes about, that they will have a pool of money that they wouldn't have to, that they can have and spend consistently without, calling the donors all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, God, I would get tired of
leaving a lot of voicemails there.
So I guess the general consensus is that, the jury's out, and we still have so much change now with the lack of not having a spring game. We're going to have to be more diligent, as far as watching these players, learning what they can do and what they can't do. And hopefully they take that big leap this year.
Yeah. And of course, Dylan Raiola was one example of a player that was kind of outside of Nebraska's recruiting grasp. Obviously had some ties, but he had every other offer, kind of like you coming out of high school. Did choose Nebraska again? He
chose 2 other schools first.
Well, you're right, which I think every kid does. It seems at this point. But.
Yeah, we still don't know the story with that, man. But but yeah,
But I guess the point there is, before you can recruit the Ralph Browns, the Terrell Farleys, and all those guys, your program needs to get back up there. You need an equalizer. You need somebody that is going to raise the program, and I think the hope is that he's able to do that. Jim from Omaha has a question for you about him. It says, Steve, what will it take for Dylan to transition from a promising freshman quarterback to a star? You will know because you walked a similar path and became a superstar.
Oh, man. I think with him is his surrounding cast, and if he works on his ability to extend the play and really be creative outside the pocket. With him, that's what it's going to take. Also, a fairly consistent defense. I think he needs more help around him for him to really flourish. Because otherwise, I think what you saw this year is probably going to be indicative of what you're going to see the next couple of years. He's a very good passer. He can throw the football. He can read coverages. Now it's just him adding a few extra dimensions on him, eluding the pocket, being creative, making things happen, and then having a great surrounding cast, with an offensive line, running backs, and receivers. That's what he needs. That's what we have to do. And how do you get that? You got to go out there and you got to pay some players to come here that can play to give them that help.
Yeah.
If they do those things, then Nebraska can be very, very effective offensively and make a statement.
Yeah.
But that's asking a lot. But that's what needs to happen.
Well, and that's what they at least attempted to do. We've seen in their transfer portal class, a bevy of wide receivers brought in, of course, some help up front on the offensive line. So, and I don't think that those some of those players were particularly cheap. So I think they tried to do that this.
I haven't heard much about it. I don't know too much about the guys, So, but we're going to see if they can play.
Yeah,
we're going to find out.
We're
going to find out.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break. We got much more coming on weekly Rap Sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Spring is the time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Plus, Koppel has over 10,500 off list on other select new models. Our pre-owned truck lot is full of late model low gyms as well. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with a roof credit, 0% and stand alone.
I used to smoke. I thought of cigarettes as my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Now back to weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are happy to be with you here on a Wednesday afternoon, getting closer to noon, and I do have a little bit to update on as far as Nebraska basketball. They've had their little bit pre-Crown tournament media availability there, and Coach Hoiberg said that Rolly Wooster will miss the Crown tournament with an injury. Braxton Mia will be a game-time decision. Gavin Griffiths also dealing with a minor injury as well, so we'll see about the availability between Mia and Griffiths, but Rolly Wooster will not be there, so available, I should say. I don't know if he's going with the team or not, but unfortunately, that will put into his career in the Scarlet and Cream for Nebraska. But we will see if Nebraska is able to get much done there. Also, I saw this: Nebraska's GM, general manager Pat Stewart, lands a 3-year, $255 million deal there, 3 years. We knew that his annual salary was going to be around, $850,000. So
this is the general manager.
As the general manager now, that trails only North Carolina's Michael Lombardi, who makes $1.5 million a year, and Jim Nagy will tie him over there at Oklahoma. And GMs, we're still kind of getting used to what that means in college football. The first GM firing happened, not firing, the GM making the firing happen the other day.
What?
When Stanford's GM, Andrew Luck, fired their head coach. So now we might see, we usually put that on the AD,
Wow.
right?
Oh.
Well, might be the
The
GMs.
general manager.
Yeah, the GMs might make the decisions moving forward.
Wow. Well, that's where college sports is going. They're going to handle the football operations and manage the team. That's interesting, though, that they would have that authority to do that.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's going to be everywhere, but I guess when it's Andrew Luck and he's one of your best alumni, you make him the GM. You say, well, yeah, I guess he gets the opportunity to do it. Do you like the way that the college football world is moving? Nebraska at least trying to, these GMs kind of a new position. Nebraska, you said it, they're going to have to kind of pay their way maybe back into contention. They're trying to do through the GM position.
Do I like it? I don't dislike it. I guess what I'm not happy about is just how all this has just been within a couple of years. It's just been blown out of whack.
Yeah.
I mean, we went from literally not being able for an athlete, for a fan or anyone to buy an athlete a sandwich from Subway to by any means, just Katie bar the gate. There's no limit to what an athlete can receive now. And like the whole regulatory as far as how many coaches you can have on the staff, and all that stuff now seems to be non-existent. So that's really hard to wrap your head around. I accept it. It's big business, especially as I watch. As you watch March Madness and you watch all the funds that's being played, all the commercials, all the business, everyone profiting from these athletes. So it's something that it just makes you just kind of just throw your hands up in there and say, I wish I was, not that I wish I was born at a later date. It's just amazing how you can go from night to day, within a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I think that's the toughest thing to really look at, but you have to accept it. And that's what I'm saying. That I hope Nebraska embraces it, adapts to it, and then get a good solid game plan of how they're going to be able to run their organization and be competitive on a national scale. So that's what I look at the most. And I had to, I talked about the schools that recruited me and what was going on. And when I look back at everything and I see where Nebraska is, it's a tall task here at Nebraska. I really do. And I'm not being dark, just from the limited things that I know and how my experiences came to Nebraska. I think it's going to be a very challenging time. And you really can't put your finger on one thing. So I almost think, to take someone like a Deion Sanders to come in and just shake this place up. But will Nebraska be open to something like that or an individual like that? When you go back and think about it, Devaney kind of had a flair to him. Osborne had a flair to him in his own rightful way. When I look at all the other coaches that we've had, I don't see that. So that's when I say, does Rule have that? Does Rule have that? And is it genuine? So that's the unknown.
Yeah.
That's the unknown.
When it's really interesting to see the program over the years kind of go from, what is the expectation and what needs to be happening to get back to that. Because Matt Rule as a program builder, and we're going to try to see.
When you say that, do you think Nebraskans have realistic expectations of the football program? Can you honestly think, do they have realistic expectations?
I wouldn't say all of them do, but I think that they've been forced to come down to earth. I mean, I think if you talk about, again, going back to the early 2000s, did they? Maybe not. I think a majority of the fan base did not. I think after fighting through it and seeing that it's not a birthright for Nebraska football to be a top 5 program, and seeing how difficult it has been to even compete, I think that there's a lot of people that are kind of going back down. But again, I mean, Bo Pelini was let go here after winning. He never won less than 9 games.
Yeah,
Frank Solich was fired after 9.
That's an interesting thing you talk about, because when I was talking with and I have to check myself with this, right? I have to ask myself, do I have realistic expectations of Nebraska football? But my expectations are from my experiences with Nebraska when I was playing.
Yeah.
Of what we had to do to be successful, right? You had to beat the Purdue's. You had to beat the Kansas, the K-States, the Oklahoma States, the Colorados, blah, blah, blah. That's what you had to do, right? So when I see their schedule this year and I see those teams, I'm thinking Nebraska should be able to beat those teams. But they haven't.
Yeah.
They haven't. When I was talking to a Buckeye guy over there, I said, you guys beat those teams 85, 95% of the times, the Illinois and, the Purdue's and the Wisconsins, blah, blah, blah. You beat them consistently. We have not done that in decades, right? So are my expectations realistic when I look at their schedule and I think they can win 8, 9, 10 games? When I say they should have like an Indiana type year, I don't know if my expectations are realistic from what I've seen.
Well, it's an interesting conversation because at one point, from one side, it's like you kind of zone in on the Nebraska part of it and year to year what your expectations are. But if you do zoom out, and again, you go to before this bowl that they made, they had the longest bowl drought. So your expectation should at least be, all these other programs. It's almost like paralysis by analysis, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just like
Yeah.
overthinking it.
Yeah.
And it's just like a lot of these programs that don't have, don't live in a fishbowl, they're able to get some things done.
Because we were talking about the bowl game, and I said the first thing that came out of my mouth was that we got a good draw.
Yeah.
I mean, the Boston College team, I didn't think was a very good football team.
Well, and then their two best players
And
didn't
two best
play.
players are done. So we ended up above 500. We were very fortunate, but we got a really good draw. I think that we were lucky with that.
Yeah.
We were lucky with that. So, but be that as it may, that's just 7-6 is not going to cut it.
Yeah, no.
It's not going to cut it on a national scale. Nothing against Nebraska. It's just you're just not going to be in contention.
Right.
Right. So we definitely got to get over that hump.
Yeah.
That big hump.
Well, and that's been over the years. It's kind of been fun because I've had friends that would argue the same type of thing too. Is like I would kind of go year to year expectation. Okay, what happened last year? What's a natural progressive step this year? And I would say, okay, so that I would kind of base it off last year's results, the program, what year the coach was, all that sort of thing. Then I have friends that would say, no, it's a 9-win program, and every year we want to win 9 games. And I don't know if they're necessarily wrong either, right? I mean, to hold a program to that level and try to think that that's the way to go and never let your guard down, then you kind of still operate based off that expectation. But I think those two things are coming together now for what naturally should be a 9-win season and what should be a program expectations of a 9-win season. And I think Nebraska, given all that it's had, I mean, I think there's more of a understanding that it might not be like Bo where it was 9 wins every year. You might have 10 wins here, 8 wins here, 7 wins, 11 wins, that sort of thing. But you want to be consistently winning. But I think that I hope that there's that can be a little bit more fluctuating than back to because we have again. You fired Frank after he went 10-3, and you haven't done as well since. You fired Bo after he went 10-4 or 9-4, and you haven't done as well since.
When you said, isn't that just crazy?
Yeah.
You really think? Hindsight's 20/20, but isn't that just crazy?
It is.
That's crazy, man. And it just hit me when you said 10-3, we fired the coach. And we're talking about expectations, and it's weird. I went to many, many basketball games this year, and I think Coach Holberg is an outstanding individual. But when I walk out of that gym, the vault, I have no expectations of Nebraska basketball. I said I go for entertainment, something to do in the winter, support my friends that are coaching, and I know some players to support them. But there was a fan that came by and yelled something very negative towards the AD that was there that game. And he was not happy. And I felt for the current AD and for Coach Holberg. But when I left, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go home and go to bed and I have no expectations. So with that in mind, how does Nebraska get better? Right?
Yeah.
How does Nebraska get better? And here we are playing in what tournament is this?
The Crown, yeah.
And it
Crown
hit me
tournament.
because I was watching the NIT just yesterday. And those teams are 29-8, 29-7. And we were not even in NIT.
Well,
I'm just saying, so
yeah.
we're in some tournament in Vegas.
Yeah.
How many teams are in the
It's
tournament?
better than the NIT. It's kind of watered down the field.
What's
of
better than NIT?
The Crown tournament would
It
be
is.
yeah. It's preferred over the NIT. Nebraska accepted that. Would have made the NIT.
Wait,
if they
so
went-
that
won.
tournament is really?
Yeah.
Why
Kind
have I've never really heard of it.
It's the first year. So it's the first year, and it's kind of in the NIL world, right? This is a tournament where
Okay.
payments can be
All
made.
right. Does that make me feel better?
I don't know. Does it make you feel better?
Wait, I was like, what did I miss? Like, is more prestigious than an NIT?
It is, and you're going to be playing. They're going to be playing.
Who says that?
It's just that the major turn. There's like the Big Ten. There's a few major conferences that their first two that don't make the NCAA tournament have to go to the Crown. So it's like the top teams that don't make the tournament out of these major conferences are not going to go to the NIT. They're going to go to the
They're going
Crown.
to the Crown.
And so
this is the first year.
This is the first year. That being said, they're like Nebraska's first round opponent is Arizona State, and they're 13-19. So there's some worse teams in the Crown as well.
Yeah.
So it's
Did you say 13-19?
they're they don't
But
have
this
a
is
good
a better
record.
tournament than the NIT.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not buying
I
that.
would say the
I'm not
top of the
buying that.
Crown
I'm
is
not
better.
buying- no,
The
I'm
bottom
not-
of the
I'm
Crown
not-
is
I'm
worse.
I'm not buying that. No. No.
Well, either way, your goal is not the Crown or the NIT. Neither of one of them are all that prestigious compared to the NCAA tournament.
True that.
But yeah.
So
They're-
this is the first year of this tournament.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch this. Then.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to see how it kind of plays out and how things go about there.
But anyway, my point was like realistic expectations and what are those expectations? How do I come to them? Right? What are they based on? Are they based on the historic program of the University of Nebraska Lincoln, or is it based on the current teams that we have? So I would probably say realistically, I'm hoping that we're 500. Not hoping, I'm thinking we're probably 500.
Yeah. There weren't too much more than that this year, but
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
if I look at it as I should, that's probably what they are.
And Husker basketball has the history that you bring about. I mean, that just is sitting on their back for years and years and years, no matter what. Like if you have a good season, like this season, it was a good season and then declined. And then but the frustration wasn't just that this season they started to decline. It was like, well, this was our chance to get rid of 100 years of bad history and finally win an NCAA tournament.
It really hits you in the face because you can't ignore it, man.
Yeah.
And this is what I've been saying, even when it comes to Nebraska football, because I watch pretty much all Nebraska football. But then when I go home and watch other schools around the country, I see the disparity in talent. It's hit me right there. When I watch ESPN, I see the disparity of the talent. When I watch the draft, I see the disparity of the talent, Nebraska versus these other teams, right? And it hit me. And I knew from personally that I felt like Nebraska were not getting the best players because, if I was a great player coming out of high school, Nebraska wouldn't be on my list, right? So that's where I would be, right? And it's just a trickle down thing. So you wonder, what is it really going to take, man? Because we've done just about everything. We've fired everyone. We've hired. They say, is Rule the guy? I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. I've met him a couple of times. I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to wait and see with that.
Well, it's tough to say, even with the year 3 is usually his boom year, but they've got new coordinators, right? I mean, so it's not generally doesn't line up with.
I don't know enough. I see these coaches come in. I don't know enough about them. Maybe Jay Foreman knows more than I do. We should talk about Chuck Foreman, by the way. What's his name? The heavyweight champion that just passed away.
Oh, yeah. George Foreman.
Yeah. Man. Anyway, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
76, right? Amazing. So I don't know really what it's going to take. I wish I knew, man. I really wish I knew. I'm going to say some nice prayers. And we can get it turned around. But,
yeah. Such is the state of Nebraska athletics.
It's not a depressing show today.
I
was on this trip and we were talking about the state of the program and everything and what Nebraska was going, and I didn't have any answers for them.
Yeah.
I had a lot of knowledge,
and
a lot of facts, and guys trust me and believe what I'm saying, and they say, "Yeah, you're right, Steve," but I really couldn't say anything that was really that's you can hang your hat on.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, the more it depresses me. I was like, we had a guy like Trev Albert leave our program.
Yeah, that one hurt.
I'm like, he left. Yeah. He didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
He did not want to be here. One of the greatest players to ever play at Nebraska did not want to be here. The whole Scott Frost thing was a total disaster.
Yeah.
The worst of all of them.
Yeah.
And I said, I feel betrayed. Our own betrayed us.
Yeah.
Right. So it's hard to fathom that. But that's the reality. That is the factual thing. It's not opinionated. It's not conjecture. It's none of that stuff. It's hard facts. It was a total debacle. And why that was, don't know. Well, I know now, but couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's been
sorry
journey.
about that. So I don't have any answers, man.
Yeah.
I guess I do. Get as much money as you can and go out and buy some players and bring them here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's rock and roll.
That's partially what they're attempting to do. We'll talk more about this coming up next. And we should, like you said, talk a little bit about George Foreman's passing. I know you're a big boxing fan. So we'll do that coming up next year on Weekly Wrap Sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor.
I'm Chief Dave Engler. When a fire truck hits a pothole with 12 tons of fast-moving equipment and crew, it's a problem. On your ballot in April is a measure to continue Lincoln's quarter-cent sales tax for street improvements. A vote against eliminates the street funding. A vote for will not raise your taxes and keeps the funding in place. And better roads means faster response times. Learn more at LincolnOnTheMove.com.
We use our Lincoln streets every day, and so do first responders. But visitors and out-of-town commuters also do. A quarter-cent sales tax for streets passed by voters in 2019 makes those commuters pay about $6 million a year to improve streets. On your ballot in April is a measure to continue it. A vote against means no more funds from commuters. A vote for will not raise your taxes, and commuters still pay. Learn more at LincolnOnTheMove.com. Paid for by the City of Lincoln.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call John Henrys at 402-435-5555 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-435-5555.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Plus, Koppel has over 10,500 off list on other select new models. Our pre-owned truck lot is full of late model low gyms as well. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with a roof credit, 0% and standalone.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a few sprinkles possible, otherwise partly sunny with a light breeze, and a high around 70. Tonight, a chance of showers late, otherwise partly cloudy with a low near 48. And tomorrow, we'll see a chance of showers and storms, otherwise partly sunny and warm with a high near 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final segment here on Weekly Wrap Sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor. We've got Terrell Farley waiting on deck. I think he's played some baseball, so yeah, I could use that term. Terrell Farley waiting on
him
deck
at the
there.
bat. See him trying to hit a baseball. Really?
I can't remember if I think he said he's played before, so we can use that terminology. But
Playing in the park with your buddies doesn't count. Hitting off a tee, no. That is-
yeah, I'm not sure. You were pretty darn good at baseball yourself. Let's never forget that.
I
Yeah,
hope
drafted
so,
by
yeah.
the Yankees. So,
Again,
yeah,
it's kind of nice to say that.
very cool stuff.
Not too people can say that.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, you could have been drafted by like the not taking shots at anybody else, but like the Orioles or somebody else. But the Yankees,
or the Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Yankees.
Cleveland?
That's as much as I means something.
Now that I'm 58 years old and I go on these things, I play with all these guys, they're Husker fans, and some are, some not. And they ask me and they say something, I'm like, shoot, I was drafted.
Yeah.
I was drafted by the Yankees and I was drafted by the NFL.
Yeah.
Not some people can say that.
Yeah.
And my story's a little different, obviously, because I signed before, but that's pretty cool to say that when I was signed still and delivered and was still drafted.
Yeah.
But anyway, George Foreman.
Yes.
So when you hear his name, what comes to your mind?
Unfortunately for my generation, a grill does
That's
because
what-
he made a
that's
lot
what
of money
I
out
think,
of it.
though.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's really unique and great about him, because I remember watching him, obviously when he had the big fight against Ali, the Rumble in the Jungle.
Oh yeah.
But it's the resurgence when he came back. He was like he was the same boxer, but he was a different boxer. I don't know if you remember, right? He wasn't slim and trim like he was. He was a physical specimen in his prime, right? He came back as this old, big guy that would just slug you and would still knock you out and was beating all these people and it's almost like he had two careers.
Yeah.
Right? Two careers in two different decades. And then on the side, he had a great smile, great personality, and he had this grill that he made all this money from.
Yeah.
I mean, a grill. I'm like, George Foreman. I still, to this day, never had a George Foreman grill, but what was so special about his grill?
Well, I think it is kind of like a quick grill. I've had plenty of George Foreman's.
So you have?
Yeah, you don't have to
Really?
you don't have to go and make a big deal out of grilling. It's just an open, shut. There you go.
Is it inside the house
Gets
or
done real
outside the
quick.
house?
Either way, it doesn't
Either
make
way.
not too much smoke or anything. You have
People,
done
I
it
know
inside.
people. I went to their house and they had a George Foreman grill. I was
Yeah.
like, really?
Yeah.
How cool is that, man?
It was pretty cool. And he made fortunes off of that.
fortune out of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
compared to his boxing career. even.
So you think of George Foreman grill, you think of George Foreman the boxer, you think of George Foreman the personality. He just had
Yeah.
a great smile.
Yeah, and he did. And to
Life
your,
well lived at 76.
to your point too, he won the world heavyweight title 21 years apart. That's crazy.
21 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is insane.
Wow. Yeah, I
Um,
know. That's crazy, man.
Really
And
impressive.
He would just be in the ring, man. He would just slug you.
Yeah.
You would hit him, man. The opponents would hit him, and the punches would just die. They would just die on it. He was just this massive body, man. It was crazy.
Well, that's
And he
great.
was
The knockout percentage of his is pretty darn good. 76 wins in his career, 68 knockouts. That's insane.
Can you imagine getting hit from him, doing all that weight and power on that, man? He was something to watch.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
it is sad to see him
he was-
go.
Yeah, I think he named every kid George Foreman.
He's
No,
got
you know
several
that?
George Foreman.
Yeah, like 8 or 9 kids. And all the boys, all their names are George Foreman.
I did not know that. I do want to Google that.
I'm like, who does that? All of his kids.
That's
Can you
pretty
imagine
I
that?
like that.
Yeah.
What do they call? Yeah, like the third one, just
Google it.
Trey.
He has,
I guess
think
I
he
don't
has
know.
a bunch of boys, and they're
Yeah.
all named George Foreman.
I gotta Google that. That is awesome.
That's crazy. I Google everything. man.
Yeah.
That's all that comes on my phone is Google. And I try to get the real stuff versus the fake stuff. But
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
I can decide.
You don't use the AI search machine too much now?
I'm old. So I'm finding out I'm so old school in the way I do things. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
I like try to avoid a computer now.
yeah.
Yeah. And I love it. I totally love it.
Yeah. Fair enough. You've been successful without it. so.
Well, we'll find out.
Hopefully the next couple of years will be the same way. But thanks again to Steve Taylor for jumping on with us. We will be back next Wednesday. We're here every Wednesday from 11 to 12. He's got some golfing to do. I got
Yes.
some talking to Terrell to do.
I
so
love my new
we'll do that
schedule.
next.
Awesome. Peace.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard.